Next up, our CEO, Brad Levy, will join us on stage, followed by Michael Lynch, our Chief Product Officer. They'll be highlighting the power of disruption, which was a topic of a recent piece Brad wrote. In his upcoming keynote, D-Cubed, he's going to explain the rapidly changing times we are in and how through these disruptions, there are opportunities. Please join me in giving him a warm welcome.
Megan. Thank you. So thank you, Megan, for that great introduction, and all of you for joining us here today at our 13th Innovate in our 10th year as a company. So many have contributed to this day for sure, our dedicated colleagues and our clients and our partners. We've been coming together a lot as a company, and we are coming together with more ease, but there are more turbulent times ahead. And maybe on a fairly somber note, we had a colleague, Dennis Yekimov. We had acquired Amenity AI in 2022, which was a wonderful acquisition for us strategically and a wonderful group of people joining us and a large team in Tel Aviv. On March 1st, we did learn that Dennis was killed in Gaza at the front. We had several of us SIMs that were sent. So, he sent me some notes. I had a nice relationship with him and then some DM, and he said, as a doing person, I could not stay at home on Saturday and started to look for places to donate blood, him and his brother, and we already knew that they were going to be mobilized soon. So he just took action, he went out, and in honor of these heroes and so many around the world, and more importantly the doers, maybe just a brief moment to recognize Dennis. So that's a heavy moment, and I realize that. But it is important to recognize both the man and the moment at times. And it really is a big moment on so many levels across the whole world. I think we all see it and feel it. And it does let us know that we're connected to each other in so many different ways. We do seem to be living through epic times. We hear it all the time. And the impact of action, or more importantly, inaction, is growing by the day. The conversation on AI is all around us. I'm not the first, but to frame it, recently picked up a book, Kate Crawford, The Atlas of AI, a really compelling view of what AI is. And she starts by really saying it is not technology completely, meaning there's a lot more to it than technology, the microchips, the data centers, the large language models. It involves extracting a huge amount of materials from the earth to build. She calls this extractivism. I like the term. Social systems, cultural systems, geopolitical systems, the regulations we need and the power we need. It's all very much part of this complicated puzzle. So the idea of AI is really about the much larger impact that it will have on humanity, both physically maybe, but certainly emotionally and mentally. And she speaks to these power structures that AI will both enforce and create. Others have similar views of AI that are out there and smart, apparently. And maybe it's critical to look at this through a different lens, or maybe a larger lens. So Jamie Dimon says, the printing press, computers, electricity, this is as big as those things. I tend to agree. Where I might nuance that a little is I'm not sure those are independent as much as the additive elements over time that have created AI and compounding it. And then, AI is built on words, it's built on power, and it's built with computers. So these things are not independent. Elon Musk says, in the next 1 to 2 years, smarter than any one person, the next 5, smarter than all humans combined. And clearly there's a lot of connections of people and data being made through these new technologies, but sort of questions, what is intelligence? Is it automation of task management, or is it a little larger than that? So even to step up to a larger frame and a longer time, Mustafa Suleyman, who is the founder of DeepMind, sold to Google. He wrote a book, The Coming Wave, and he's now the CEO of Microsoft AI. He talks about general purpose technologies, and there have been 24 through time introduced. They get cheaper and they get widely distributed. It could take thousands, if not hundreds of thousands or tens of years, it depends. But most importantly, he looks at this through time. He concludes that technologies like AI are coming faster, and the impacts that they're having on us are more meaningful, socially, physically, et cetera. So you can be early, and you could be pretty early, but you really can't be late on this one, and you probably can't be very late. So let's move into this idea of change and disruption over time a little bit more clearly. So it refers to these 24 general purpose technologies. We've discovered things or invented them, fire, stone tools, the wheel, and over hundreds of thousands of years, literally, our digestive system shrank, our jaws shrank, our brains enlarged from the ability to use these technologies, and it actually changed who we are physically over those hundreds of thousands of years and evolved our physiques and who we are in our brain. Then you move to the plows and the printing press, the agricultural and industrial revolutions. Other tech emerges, domestication of food sources, the printing press, electricity. These technologies change the social systems, our ability to grow as a population and change where we lived. But now more enter real tech as we think about it and tech as we know it. The last 100 years maybe and a few forward, it's exploded in a very nonlinear way. From airplanes to mobile phones, this is all in our lifetimes and more to come. So we're headed way up and to the right at an eye-watering pace. But as individuals, we tend to move through time in a not so parabolic space or way. It tends to be, much flatter through time. And individuals through their lifetime, historically, had not experienced a lot of these technologies, or maybe any of them, literally, certainly in the early days. But more recently, the last few hundred years, these technologies seem to be becoming more and more, hitting us at an accelerating rate. They're connecting us to each other. And Thomas Friedman quoted in his book, Thank You for Being Late, The Age of Accelerations. You could argue we're 20 years in and we have about 20 or 25 to go. It's like a 50-year window, coming in waves and pushing us all forward. In our personal lives, we experience this all the time. It's happening right now, right in our pocket, on the planet every day. In here, as fin and tech, we're really at the intersection of quite a bit of this. And we're all part of these systems that we're creating and building and rolling them forward. And by we, I literally mean this room. So think of two strands through time, one of them being financial markets innovations and changes, and one of them being technology. And these are intertwining through long periods of time. The 1700s, 1800s, it's more stocks and buttonwood trees and whatever happened, and maybe the automation was moving things in cars and Brinks trucks, for a while. The 1930s hit regulations, and it sort of starts it off in a bigger direction. But then the 50s come, and you have mainframes, you have 80s PCs, you have 90s internet, the 2010s cloud, e-commerce, and obviously we have things like AI and quantum on the come. And underneath that, you have modern finance, LBOs and bond markets in the 80s, 90s derivatives. By the time you hit the 10s and 2000s, you have ETFs, et cetera. And now going forward, you have digital markets and tokenization. So in our space, very directly, the technology is here and making a difference every day. It's always been, and more is coming our way. Personally, I think it's thrilling. It's why we're here, it's what we're about, and it's how we're trying to roll these disruption forward. Now, the links between these technologies and finance is growing stronger and intertwining more by the day, as you can see by my ramen noodles. But let's step back, again, to AI and this big impact, and again to Kate Crawford. So she doesn't only try to define AI as something bigger, but talks about the impact of it. And she really zeroes in on this idea that there's a big impact, it's being optimized, it's being done by certain people with certain intents, and who gets to decide those things. So a lot of the book is who's really in control of these things, and the stakes cannot be higher. I think that's probably obvious at this point. We shouldn't be confused, maybe, but it's easily confusing or paralyzed. In my little world, I got both of my children in their 20s to delete TikTok 6 months ago off their phone. Big move, 2 years of discussion. I just know they're being trained to continue to use it. There's a model in there, so that's that. But as a community here, we could determine our intent, we can assess the risk, and we can iterate forward. And as a community, that is why we're here. And it's important to put these things in perspective over time and not get confused or paralyzed, and with putting the right people with the right intent in the right place to do the job, solving the right problems. So moving again, 2 million years, humanity, evolution, fire, wheel, stone, 10,000 years agricultural, 500 years industrial revolution. But again, right in this information age revolution, 2000 to 2050 maybe. And we can and must take individual and collective action. So it's interesting to think about, all these big things and big ideas, and it's all so important, and look at how smart everybody is writing their books and maybe building something or nothing. It's hard to tell, and all these things come in big and small cycles. But in the end, we All of us are required, because it's our jobs, to deliver simple things like today while we're building to the future. So we can tell you it's not a blank slate, and that's the big fun part for us, at least. Part of the simple value is literally being in this room today. Think about us as a platform with microservices and APIs, like literally sitting here as humans. And during these epic times, where technology is at the core and both capital and time are pretty finite, we are driving our own version of what I call the three-body system. Three-body problem is a great show. Us, you, and them. How do we connect these things in a way? And Symphony plays a role in that. We believe that. We've been part of that, but we only play a role. We're so excited to see our partners here today, the DTCC, showing how we're going to help settlement exception management as T+1 hits. You'll see this and other things in short order. We're really excited to show you things in data. I know that's shocking, but there's a lot of conversations about that in both voice space and identity. So stay tuned for Cloud9 and some of the work we're doing around directory. And finally, we have a lot more to show you on ECP and our embeddability. It's probably the biggest strategic move we've made in the last couple of years, not just going to Symphony, but we can distribute our network, our community, and our work into other applications. And again, you'll see a lot of that. So I'm going to turn it over to Mike to finish up Keynote. We are so appreciative that you're here today. The weather, time, everything. We know all of this is not free. Please enjoy. We hope you do. We try to keep it tight and fast so it doesn't feel like 4 or 5 hours sitting. We thank you for coming and turning it over to my incredibly capable Chief Product Officer, builder of the future, Michael Lynch.
Thank you, Brad. Thank you, everybody. As always, thank you for being here. It's exciting to be in this new space and here with all of you today. 10 years ago, when Symphony started, the media labeled it a killer. I've personally never liked that term, and I can certainly tell you it's not true to our mission today. We're not killers. We're disruptors. Our goal is to irrevocably change the way markets connect. We want to give you new alternatives, innovative approaches, ways that we can change the status quo so that you can be more effective, more efficient, more compliant. We started this disruption journey with messaging. But in the last 3 years, we've applied that same disruptive approach to new and different areas. Some of these we've built as new products from the ground up within Symphony. Others we've done by acquiring like-mission companies and bringing them into the Symphony story. We now disrupt across 4 different platforms. The first is our messaging platform. We've built and continue to build on our core strength of secure external inter-firm messaging. This is very much a native experience to someone in the front office, but more and more we see the need for this in the middle office, operations teams, prime brokerage, where email is just not able to keep up as the world is increasingly impacted by risk and regulation. Our end-to-end encryption capability is more important than ever before. There's an increasing velocity and sophistication of cyber attacks. I know it. You know it. More important than ever for you to protect your data, and we know that bar none, we are the best messaging platform in the market for you to be able to feel safe with where your data is and how it's encrypted. We're also, of course, now federated. Over the last couple of years, we've built out this product further and further. We're helping our users connect with their customers on platforms like SMS, WeChat, WhatsApp, not only meeting their compliance demands, but more importantly, meeting their customer needs so that their business is more efficient. We've seen that platform grow exponentially, and you're going to hear from 2 of the biggest banks in the world on stage today about how they're using that product. We're not just using this in banks, though. Asset managers, wealth managers, insurers are increasingly coming to Symphony for our federation offering. In addition to that, we're now embeddable. Symphony can flex and change to our customers and partners' workflows so that they can leverage a collaboration backbone in their product. And that can vary across numerous workflows, whether it's trade exception management, loan issuance, research authoring. You're going to see this 5 different times today. So that means it's important to us, and we think it's important for the market. At the end of the day, we're going to unveil the next step in our messaging journey, which brings all of those capabilities together. So make sure you don't sneak off early. We're going to talk about voice today. Voice is increasingly central to Symphony's journey. Cloud9 is the same age as Symphony, about 10 years. And it's been thrilling to lead that product and that team into the next level of their maturity over the last 3 years. Cloud9's always been an incredible technology platform and an incredible team of people. And we've seen it grow from a soft turret that's critical in the energy market to a fully functioning trader voice platform that's able to solve the needs of global banks, asset managers in every region on every desk. We know the voice market is evolving faster than ever. Every firm in here, listening in the world, is figuring out how can we ditch our on-prem legacy infrastructure that costs us so much to maintain, and we're the only trader voice platform that can help you do that. You're going to hear from two important firms today talking about their journey with us at Cloud9 today. We're also going beyond trader voice. You're familiar with our patented instant voice technology where we've embedded trader voice-like capabilities inside the Symphony application to extend real-time voice connectivity beyond the trading desk. We've also added voice to our federation offering so that you can seamlessly go from text to voice with a single virtual phone number, keeping your identity clear for your customers. And with that momentum, we're accelerating further. We're going faster. That speed is around our AI platform, our analytics platform, that's a newest of our products. We've evolved our existing AI-powered tools for research, authoring, and investment management, and we're creating new products that complement our existing messaging and voice platforms. Critical to our ethos is we are not monetizing our customers' data. We are not reselling that data. Your data is your data. We're just helping you create intelligence and insights from that so you can be more effective. Our primary focus today is going to be around voice analytics. You're going to see that in two different demos today. You're going to see the Symphony team demo trader voice analytics, how we've been leveraging Cloud9 data to turn that noise of the trading desk into a new actionable data set for desk heads to be able to extract intelligence in terms of market intelligence, risk management, and even post-trade analytics. You're also going to see an incredibly important compliance product from our partners at Umini, who are using generative AI to help compliance officers find that proverbial needle in the haystack. And lastly, you'll see our directory platform. Everything Symphony does is underpinned by our interfirm directory of company-validated identity. We've been in this industry long enough to know there have been many initiatives around directory that have failed. My view is that it's always because they haven't aimed to solve a clear and present problem for our customers. And that is exactly what we're doing with our operations directory. We're trying to facilitate transparency, connectivity, and speed in the face of T+1, which is just a couple days away, and the inevitable move to T0 in the longer term. You're going to hear from the four firms that are working with us on this incredibly important initiative as bringing all firms together to help solve this problem together. But of course, we don't bring you platforms. Our goal is to bring you solutions. And we do that by bringing those four platforms together, working with our partners, working with our customers and for our customers to deliver that. And we're not alone on this journey. All together, we're disrupting workflows across multiple segments of the market: sales and trading, middle office, trade settlement, investment banking, private wealth. And there'll be more solutions and more platforms in the future. But enough from me. Enough from Mr. Hot Mic. Thank you again. There are going to be 13 demos today. Every single one of them is live, and we hopefully are going to make it look way easier than it actually is. So a big thank you to the team who's helped us put on this today.